For more on what these buyers might want to do with Yahoo, let's bring in a former Yahoo executive. Jeff Bonforte served as both Vice President of Social Search and Real-Time Communications at Yahoo. He is now the CEO of the San Francisco-based social email startup Xobni. Jeff, welcome to Bloomberg West. So let's start with this whole Alibaba scenario, Alibaba potentially taking over all of Yahoo. You think this would be a bad idea?
Yeah, it seems like there's a role for both Yahoo Japan and Alibaba have to play a role of part of any deal because you basically have to free up those assets to help pay for the overall deal. But the concept that Alibaba would be the primary or that they, together with SoftBank, would do the primary to take over Yahoo to me seems like a very bad idea. The problem
How bad?
It seems catastrophically bad because if you think about what Yahoo needs to solve its problems, become a great, valuable property again. It's got an amazing brand. It has really amazing user base, things like this. But the problems Yahoo faces, the competitors are Google, Facebook, Microsoft. It has amazing competitors with very large cash cow products already. And so it's not a problem with who owns Yahoo. It's a problem of who can get back in there, innovate, and sort of release some of the value that's there.
Now, at least some shareholders think this Alibaba thing would be a good idea. Take a listen to Eric Jackson of Iron Fire Capital, what he had to say about this whole scenario.
It's definitely good news from Yahoo investors' perspective, and I think you saw that in the action in the stock price last night, in stark contrast to the reaction yesterday to the news that Silver Lake was going to put this more complicated $16.60 offer together. So people definitely like it.
So if shareholders want it, isn't that what matters most?
I don't disagree that shareholders from Yahoo, for the most part, are looking for some relief from what they've experienced in the last 3 or 4 years. So I think what's good for the shareholders isn't necessarily what's best for Yahoo in terms of best long-term return on investment for the shareholders. But if you've been in Yahoo for a couple years and you want a way out, I would think any interest, especially since SoftBank, Yahoo Japan, and Alibaba basically act as a barrier. You have to have a deal with them before you can successfully set up a transaction there. So in that way, the chances that Alibaba can put together a transaction probably are pretty good. And investment bankers, I'm sure, would love that, transaction fees and all those things. But if you're looking at what's best for the company, what's best for the long-term value, what's best for the ecosystem in general for the internet, I don't think an Alibaba deal even comes in the top 5 possible deals in terms of...
So what about the private equity?
I think the private equity is fine. I think Yahoo going private would actually help it do some of the hard things it wants to do without having to worry about next quarter there's a lot of sacred cows at Yahoo. And if you cut one area of Yahoo, it can look very bad, even though it may be the wrong decision. So it can be hard to make very hard decisions. So being private can now actually allow it to do those things.
But these private equity groups would only be taking a minority stake in the company. Therefore, how much control would they actually have to fix what is broken?
It's not the bankers that are going to fix Yahoo. The bankers' role is to basically give the political cover or the shareholder cover or whatever it is, the runway necessary for an effective set of leaders to be in there. In some cases, they're already in Yahoo. It's not like people don't know what needs to be done at Yahoo. It is a very complicated business to sort of fix and get going, partially because it's kind of like trying to change the engine on a car that's already moving quickly.
But if they know what needs to be done, wouldn't they have done? I mean, it's been a few years.
I'm with you on this
struggling.
one. I think, yes, I think Yahoo needs to make hard decisions. There's a saying basically that Yahoo hasn't done poorly enough to make the hard decisions, right? That it's always made just enough profit or done just enough in customers that it's hard to make the decision that you're going to leave a business, so that you're going to focus on one area. And today Yahoo is at least 2 companies, if not 3 companies, and it needs to be one company. It needs to be able to focus, and it has still very good talent.
Steve Jobs said it needed to choose between being a media company and a tech company, that it didn't matter which one it chose. Right. Do you agree?
I was at that meeting, and Steve Jobs said a number of insightful things that day. And I am 100% convinced that that is correct, that the company basically, it is very difficult to be great at many things, and very few companies have ever done it. Because Yahoo, to a certain extent, is going through this sort of existential thing of trying to do it, in the past, these are very profitable businesses that you would leave in order to focus on another one, and that has been sort of the hard decision to make. But
so which one is it, media or tech?
Well, from a tech guy in the Valley, it's easy. You cut LA out and you leave Sunnyvale where it is and you go tech. I think that that's the best long-term business. I understand why the media business is appealing. I understand why it's appealing to AOL and to some of these other companies. But to me, you have an amazing email product, you have an amazing homepage, you have still very good search market share. There's a great business in the comms business for Yahoo. It's a loved brand. It can build off its core and come back.
And quickly, you have actually poached a lot of Yahoo, former Yahoo employees. What do you think of the level of talent at Yahoo still today, even though so many good people have left?
So the Valley is full of people that have worked at Yahoo, and in that way, it's still an amazing resource to the Valley. I wanted to believe that, all the great, once you leave a company, you think, oh, all the smart people left with me. It's actually not true. Xobni, we worked with Yahoo recently, and I've been talking to people there, and I wanted to think, oh, these people aren't going to be smart. Very impressive. There are a lot of Microsoft people there that I was really impressed with. There's still very good people inside Yahoo. It is such an amazing opportunity that it still is able to recruit very good talent.
All right. Well, we are going to continue to follow the story and all of the incremental developments. But Jeff Bonforte, former Yahoo executive and CEO of Xobni, thanks so much for joining us here on Bloomberg West.